In this video, I'm going to speak about dogs that made bad signs but didn't quit. There's all kinds of course, I'm speaking in the past. Nothing meant or intended for any legal purposes. It's all history. This one's going to be mostly personal experiences that I either had or witnessed, and I'm going to include some other dogs that I never saw go, but their style has been well documented. What's a bad sign? Well, basically anything that shows you that a dog doesn't want to engage or is, different from the normal behavior of a pit dog. And that's where the controversy or the dislike for them comes from. Sometimes those dogs didn't quit. Sometimes those type of dogs showed extreme gameness. But it's something that people don't like, because in most cases, when dogs make bad signs, they do quit. I don't know why they have quirky behavior like that sometimes. It's a mystery to me. I just acknowledge it. I try and understand it, depending on the situation. They might be trying to get out of something. They may be trying to confuse their opponent. They could be trying to something in their genetics makes them behave that way without the dog even understanding himself why he's doing it. It could be the situation. It could be just at a certain point in time during a show they do that. It's like we say, some dogs, you roll them, they have a 30-minute clock. And almost on the dot at 30 minutes, they will quit, even if they're winning. So these bad signs, it could be something like that. At a certain amount of time, or as things progress, they're going to make these signs. And it may be to confuse the opponent. But I'll just mention some of them. Turning would be the first one. The hair standing up on their back or their tail could be considered that way. Them dropping their tail. Crying, whining. I saw a female in a show, an actual match, bark. I don't like pit bulls when they're confronted with an opponent. Bark. A low guttural growl, crying, screaming, wailing, a particular way, all those I just mentioned. It's not wailing like out of fear or trying to get away or pain or something like that. It's a cry, meaning that they want something bad. I don't like dogs baring their teeth when they growl. I don't like barking. Like I said, I saw a female at a show. She barked and she won. Like, arf, arf, at the dog, And she actually did that. It's just something I don't like. I didn't consider her game anyways, but it's just the fact that she won the fight. The other dog quit. The other female quit. And kind of like Jack Kelly said one time, one dog quit and the other was glad he did. Kind of, you see both of them don't want to be there. Oh, I forgot to mention, this is my new shirt, Schoolboy's Fantastic 5. Have it available for purchase. It's got my favorite dogs on there. Plus, this one up here, that's Champion Bill. That's Big Red's first champion. It has, Big Red has Champion Jeep, Champion Honey Bunch, Dirty Mary, Grand Champion Art. So the 5 dogs on the bottom here, they're my favorites, I would say. Or at least some of them. 5 of them. And then an homage to my son, Champion Bill. That was his dog. So hit me up on Facebook Messenger. Or on my email, richardjschoolboy60@gmail.com, or on Instagram if you want to purchase it. They're $25 inside the United States. It includes shipping. So that female barked, and like I said, dropping their tails. Some will spin around. But some of them, it looks like a bad sign. But because of the style of the dog, the history of the dog, the genetics of the dog, the bloodline of the dog, it's not. It's a maneuver. But I'll go through some here. Now, Bolio dogs, they will do that. Some will do that. They'll turn. I always felt that it came from Fitzwater's goalie, who was Bolio's grandsire. Not that I know anything about him, but reading the match reports, I know in one match he made 20-something scratches. And the way it was presented was he turned a lot, so every time he turned, they handled him. Or at least came out of hold a lot. Maybe because it was hot, maybe whatever. I think he went well over an hour, maybe close to 2 hours, making a bunch of scratches. But the Bolio dogs will do that. And some Bolio dogs, they will go to the bottom, go on their back. People see that as a bad sign too. Like, why are you giving it up? The ones that I've seen do it, some of them, they'll confuse a dog by grabbing the side of their lip, the side of their head, their ear, go down, hold on. They're actually not expending too much energy, and it's hard for their opponent to get a good hold on them. Because, and especially the bottom jaw too, they would do that. Big Red would do that. If a dog put him down, he would grab that bottom jaw. Or he would go up into the brisket from the bottom like that. Now that, I think it's in his bloodline, coming from the Jeep Grand Champion Miss Raid's blood, because I saw at least one female do that. Patches do that against Champion Sally. She would grab that bottom jaw when she was on the bottom. So that's only one example, but that could be where it's coming from. Why they do it? Again, it's a maneuver. So some Bolio dogs would turn. I remember seeing Cat and Company's Sammy. He was a 2-time winner, and he kind of did that in one fight. He was hurt bad, which proved his heart. He won at my house in, I think, an hour and 12. He beat Jesse and Company. Very good head dog, typical Bolio dog. Good head dog. He would go to the front legs. Good defense. He wrestled well. A very good dog. But when he was going into Lalo, he had that old Texas bully son. Irizartes, Texas, I think it is. That stuff. It's old Carver bully son. Heavy. Them dogs could bite. He had several dogs that bit real hard. Well, his little dog bit. Sammy hit him right in the shoulder, got that armpit. He was leaking profusely. And he turned a little bit, did this and that, made some funky maneuvers, got out of it, and ended up stopping Lalo's little dog in 40 minutes. Again, maneuver, intelligence. So also Cat and Company had a dog named Jinx. Now, if you saw Jinx, you didn't know anything about him, not his breeding or nothing, never saw him in shape, whatever. You saw him maybe roll, you probably wouldn't have liked him, because he would make some funky moves. And there's one time, I forget, before one of his shows or in between a show, we were talking about that. And he told me, Schoolboy, don't worry, Schoolboy, we skull drag him. He's going to stay there. And I had went into him, because I thought, we'll beat him. I had a head dog, just get on that head, outlast him. Nope. Got whooped in 41 minutes. So he beat us. He beat Tito and the local boys. He beat LA Dream Team. He beat Mac. And he beat Scrim City. All competitive guys, some top dog guys with top dogs. And Jinx became a 5-time winner. One of the reasons he became a 5-time winner, despite all those quirks about him, was that he was game and he was an expert throat fighter. So once he got into your throat, it was Katie bar the door. locked the door. It's over, said and done with. It didn't take a lot of time. I think he beat Mac. I lost to him and I refereed him too. I think he beat Mac in 28 minutes. All of them were under an hour. We lost in 41. Tito, I don't even. Maybe he went 50 minutes or something, but he never went an hour. He'd get in there, work it, choke you out, finish you off. Beautiful black dog with the white down the front, white on his chest, feet, and all that. One of those surprises, like, oh, this dog, he's not gonna go nowhere, and he whip everything you put in front of him. Good dog and good dog man too. So hats off to Cat and Company for having those two dogs. That Sammy, he was a favorite of mine. I liked him a lot because I like Bolio dogs. And Jinx, he was I think he was Maverick. Herman, maybe, sired by Herman. Some Jeep stuff, a cross like that. It's a cross that works over and over again. Jinx was one of the best representatives of that stuff that I ever seen or was involved with. He produced some pretty good dogs too. Another one, this would be considered a bad sign, was Chainsaw's Joey. He was a Bully Son Niggerino dog going against Steve Shorty. Shorty was a white dog and two-time winner. And those big crowd there, the lights were bright, on, this and that. I've mentioned it before. Sometimes dog gets spooked by all that, all the noise, all the lights. Well, that's what happened to Joey. You could see, his eyes were wide, he's looking around like that. He's confused and all that. Referee said, release your dogs. They did. Shorty comes over. Joey turns around in the corner, goes behind Chainsaw, puts his feet up on the wall like he's going to leave. And Shorty grabs him, pulls him in, gets him into the fight. And it went back and forth like that for 2 hours and 40 minutes, and Joey actually ended up winning. And just like a lot of white dogs, Shorty proved himself game. Speaking of the white dogs, they will make bad signs too. They'll go to the bottom. They'll grab a lip, pinch of skin on the cheek, ear, top of the head, and kind of lay around and hang on. Let you throw them around, wear yourself out. They got big, nasty teeth, like I've mentioned before. They'll come on late, finish you off. They're rugged, durable, tough, short, squatty, long. A lot of white, some of them all white, spotted white. We always said the best white dogs were black, like Champion Alien, Champion Bullshit. What's her name? Another little female. She was black too, a Champion. But they came in different colors. Not all of them were short and squatty. Red Danger, two-time winner, 2 best in shows. He was sired by Baby Spike, who was Red Baby's brother, out of Ma or Sandy, I forget which one, but those were kind of foundation females for the white dogs. It was kind of that Bolio Klaus white blood cross. He was the expert bottom jaw fighter. Super dog. The white dogs were that way. Some of them, not all of them, Champion Nikki, another female I lost to, was that way too. She would growl and turn and, they just, not bark, but she would growl at what she's in hold or while they're shaking her up and this and that, I lost to her, and I think it was 31 minutes with Percy. Percy was the best in show winner. That was a fast-ass fight. They were going hammer and tong. I don't recall that she growled and did all that against Percy. They were throwing down. But in other fights, I seen her do that. Wino was another white dog that was black. Best in show winner at my place. He didn't do that. He went to it and sunk his teeth in against a little Jeep dog from CMB. After that, I challenged Wino. People thought I was crazy. I challenged him with Mr. Rowdy. And I just felt, another thing about the white dogs, sometimes they start slow. That could be considered a bad sign. People don't like that, But most of the time, their fights were distance fights. Not all of them were distance. I mean, Bullshit won in 19 minutes, Shorty won in 40 minutes. A lot of them win. You know, Nikki. I don't know if she ever won an hour, and she beat a champion bitch too. She beat 3 real good bitches. She beat Percy that belonged to us. She beat a champion female, I forget her name, and then she beat Cat and Company's Jap, who was sired by bronze champion Ninja out of PB's Blondie. Blondie was the dam of our champion Bill and champion Knucklehead, and a bunch of other good dogs. Little Ivan, Cat and Company had. So they didn't always do that, and their fights didn't always go a long distance, but a lot of times they did. Alien went 215, Bullshit went 233 against T.L.'s Taylor. What's his name? Mighty Dog went over an hour. A little Elrod, he went an hour 20. You know, so they're known for being this, but they can get it done quick. Wino was a quick finisher, big teeth, hard biter. Reddy, he beat CMB's Reddy, just butchered him. 50 minutes. Reddy went about halfway over, fell down, tried to get up, couldn't get up. Over. So I went gunning for Wino because he beat my friend. We kind of used to do that. You beat me, my friend's going to go after you. You beat my friend, I'm going to go after you. So I did that with Mr. Roddy, and he just basically went through Wino just out the jump, caught him because he didn't come out of the corner right away, you know. Again, that little bit of slow starting could make a difference. It's kind of like some fighters you see in the first round, they get knocked down, it changes the fight. And for a lot of times, the rest of the fight, it's hard for them to come back. Sometimes they come back and win. Most of the time, it takes a lot out of them, and they either get knocked out or they lose on a one-sided decision, or they can't never get going, you know. So Mr. Roddy went through Wino. Shoulder, leg, mouth, bottom jaw, all that stuff. He would do that. Lady, one of my earliest matches, Lady Benny E was a old dog, man. He had that old Freddie Jones stuff and Mason's Hog Blood, this and that. He had a ton of dogs. You'll see him in there in the journal way back. If you go back to the 70s, early 80s, and like that. So he had a 3-time winner named Lady. At the time, I didn't know she was a 3-time winner. And before the match, my friend, Cat and Company, he said, you know, Richie, or maybe it was after I lost to her, to Lady. He mentioned, he goes, you know, Richie, she's a 4-time winner now. I said, hey, I don't care. I came to fight. You know, it is what it is. And I was always that way. I didn't care what they brought. Not that it, you know, I wasn't respectful of it or didn't admire the dogs. It didn't matter if a dog was a no-time winner or a 5-time winner, 4 or 5-time winner. It made no difference. It's a fight. The dogs don't know that. They don't care, so I don't care. I just do my best, bring the best dog I can at that weight, and most of the time the outcome was good. But Lady, during the match, and I had a little Patrick female out of Mabel. She was out of the same female as champion Bobby Jr., Boyle's Thrifts Bobby Jr., Mabel. Head dog, Bo Leo type style, you know. One time during the match, I forget, it was about 20 minutes or something. Lady lets go, and I've seen this happen a lot of times. Lady lets go, turns around, she goes to the corner with my dog right, Molly was her name, right behind her. She puts her feet up in the corner, but there's people sitting there, kind of blocking her way out. It looked like she was going to jump out. If she'd have jumped out, it'd been over. But she didn't, and of course Molly came, grabbed her, pulled her back in. So I thought I had it. Once the Hanley started, I was going to out-scratch her. Well, the Hanley started, and she out-scratched me. I lost in 37 minutes. That was a bad sign when you're going to leave, and I saw it later with Joey. Looks like they're going to leave, but they don't. Maybe they just need to get their mind back on the prize, you know, and continue what they were doing. Champion Greaser, the dog who lost in almost 2 hours to Grand Champion Zebo, they said he had that kind of style. Head dog, you know, and according to the reports, and if you read that, he swelled Zebo's head up like a basketball. And he was that slick, move. Some dogs are slick. They'll slip and slide and move and turn and roll over, this and that. And a lot of times people, they don't like defensive dogs that way. If they're trying to avoid punishment, they're not engaging. Some people saw that as a bad sign because they don't want to be where the fight is. I look at it because I've seen enough of them, which that's true. Sometimes they do that and then they quit. But a good game one won't. It's intelligence that tells them to outmaneuver the opponent. It's the same thing as a dog tucking its front legs, holding the dog by the head or the muzzle and tucking its front legs. Or when a dog goes to stifle, they tuck their back leg, they'll lay on it. Hardly can't get nothing. So some people didn't, that I've talked to that were there, they didn't like Greaser's style, but they admired his heart because he didn't quit. And like I said, he went almost 2 hours. He was a 4-time winner as well. I guess the king of those weird moves, turning and spinning and all kinds of weird stuff, would be Grand Champion Hank. It was mentioned that every time he won, Danny Burton tried to sell him. Nobody wanted him. He ended up winning 5 times with them. Proved his gameness in his matches, proved his ability, had a good mouth, thick and tough. That one picture on the Sporting Dog Journal or the Pit Dog Report, I forget which one it is, Pit Dog Report, I think, shows Hank like kind of up in the air, and they're not in hold, they're kind of looking at each other. He's on his back legs against John Henry. That's kind of what, people talk about, And Louis Vinago talked about it. He said the Hank Boomerang dogs were straight ahead dogs. They didn't do that funky stuff. But the Hank Giroux dogs did a lot of that funky stuff. They would scratch with their ass end first, at the last minute, turn their ass in, scratch to the side, go to this corner, then turn left, or go to that corner and turn right, whichever way, and then scratch to their opponent. Let go, cut loose, drop their tail. Speaking of dropping their tail is a bad sign. Bratz Pirate, who was the Best in Show winner, he broke the So-So Boy, RC and the So-So Boys winning streak of 18 wins and 2 draws, so 20 fights unbeaten. He broke that streak against Boxcar in an hour, 1 minute. So Bratz sends him out to Vinny. He goes into a little, he's a Bolio Heinzel dog, I think, named Boozer. He was a 2-time winner at the time. Boozer fought that whole fight with his tail tucked. Bad sign. But he scratched every time. Removed Pirate's muzzle. That one went like an hour 54, hour 56. Style and all that. Boozer, very good dog. I think Mary Schaefer bred him. Rest in peace, Mary Schaefer, top dog woman. Not only as a competitor, breeder, show dog lady, judge, all that stuff. She was good people, man. But the Hank dogs were known to do that. And even though Dirty Mary didn't do that herself, if you talk to Boyle, he says she scratched like a bullet, no bad signs, nothing, every time, right? There's some stupid rumors going around that she quit and all that. She didn't quit. Boyles was never dishonest with me about that. He would tell you if the dog quit, if it didn't. And I'm speaking way back 40 years ago at the time. But Dirty Mary would throw dogs like that. I believe one of her descendants, I'm not sure if it's her son or I think a grandson maybe, and I'm not sure if it's Jeremiah, Grand Champion Jeremiah, but it's a Grand Champion dog basically based off of Dirty Mary. 2 hours and 25 minutes for one of his matches, scratched again 20 times or so, turned this and that, made every bad sign you could think of. This is what I heard. That's why I'm saying it's a dog I'm not familiar with, but I heard about it. But it's important to mention it because he turned a lot and he scratched a lot and he won 5 times and he didn't quit. So that's even at my own dogs. Hammer beat a 4-time winner, CJ7, they called him at the time, in an hour 40 minutes, and he would do 4 circles, spinning. Take him back to the corner. He's screaming in the corner. Scratch every freaking time. His sister Bambi did that in a row too. He just let go and turn a full circle. She would do that every now and again, not every time. And it didn't matter if she was winning or getting put down or whatever. But again, game bitch, that whole litter was game. But just out of the blue, she would just let go and turn and then go back into it. She bit hard too. So did Kay. Kay didn't do that. Billy Jr. didn't do that. But the two litter mates, Hammer and Bambi, did. So in the case of my dogs, I had a couple that did that. Maybe because they were tight bred. Maybe because it's a maneuver. I don't know what the hell it was. It's not typical of a Jeep dog to do that. Or even, I don't know if the Red Boy stuff does that. But they did it. And it had no bearing on the fact that they were still game. Now, like I said, in most cases, tucking that tail, the hair standing up, growling out of fear, or, want to get away or something. Barking, shit like that. That does mean they're going to quit. And I've seen several dogs, some of them in Mexico. It's not, I'm just saying this is where I saw them. It had nothing to do with Mexico or the way they're bred and everything. Dogs will do this too. They'll be on top waiting. They could be smashing you. And they'll just let go and walk away. And I've seen them let go, turn, and walk away. I've seen them let go, turn, jump the box. I've seen them on the scratch, sidestep the opponent, keep going, and jump out. Twice in a row, just take off. Of course, dogs will be on top and have the opponent prone, laid out, and let go and quit. So, not to say that those dogs showing bad signs, they're game or cur. You just have to see every individual. And stuff like the Hank blood that's known to do that, I wouldn't take it as something bad until they're finished out. Back in the day, the people didn't do that. They didn't just, oh, he turned, I'm going to get rid of him. No. Especially with that bud. Well, it's in there. Let's see what happens. Again, several Hank dogs. I seen my buddy had one. He didn't turn. He didn't do none of that. Champion Little Boots was not known to do that. Grand Champion Daisy May didn't do that. So it's not all Hank dogs. It's just certain ones. But it's in them to do that. And even though Dirty Mary wasn't that way, she threw dogs that did that too. So that's kind of a genetic thing with them. So bad signs are what they are. For me, in a breeding program, whether a dog, I look at it this way. If I consider it a major fault, whether a dog quits or even if it doesn't quit, if it's a major fault to me, I cull it from my breeding program. I wouldn't cull any dog that's game. I don't care how lame they are. If they don't quit, I don't quit on them, and I don't cull them personally or, end their career that way. But I would not breed them. And that's just me. That's just the way I did things. So people back in the day, they took things on face value for the most part and judged the dog on its accomplishments, its style, its everything about it. The ones they liked, they kept. The ones they didn't breed them. So that's a little bit on dogs that made bad signs and didn't quit. And I'm sure everybody has their own story from the past. Feel free to comment. Thanks for all the comments you guys have been putting up, man. It's really engaging and a lot of good stuff. I appreciate it. More on the way. Thank you.